Joined now by Arkansas head coach Eric Musselman. Coach, maybe open up with a statement and maybe talk about your busy morning you had already. We've seen on social media.
Yeah, just we're excited to still be alive and have great respect for New Mexico State. Obviously, we had the opportunity to watch them for most of the game yesterday, and yeah, we've had a couple different film sessions, and in between the film sessions, I was able to go over to the Bills practice site and meet some people, as well as go into the stadium.
Great. All right, we'll take questions for Coach Musselman. We start with John.
Hey, Eric. John Worrell with the Associated Press. When you watch tape and see a guy like Teddy Buckets, Teddy Allen, and some of the unorthodox ways that he can score and do things, have you had a player like that before in your time, and how do you go about containing somebody with such an unorthodox style?
He's really good, but I've also game planned for Kobe Bryant and LeBron James and Dwayne Wade, and so I mean, he presents a lot of problems because of his ability to draw fouls. He has unlimited range. Much of the difficulty for opposing teams to guard J.D. Note is when guys take difficult shots and then have the ability to convert those into baskets. Certainly the performance that he put forth last night against a really, really good defensive team with a great defensive coach in Coach Hurley. It was a remarkable performance for sure.
All right, go ahead.
Coach, to build off of that, how do you feel like this matchup looks for your guys with the unique lineup that you have? A lot of guys that are similar maybe to Teddy Allen in size and physicality that you can throw at him.
Yeah, I think that, the thing with New Mexico State is, he's a dynamic scorer, talking about, the best offensive player in their league. But they also have two other all-league players as well. Their point guard, Rice, gives them, great size and great length and three-point shooting. But I think our philosophy has always been, I think that when every game, you have a decision to make. Do you try to make the opposing team's best players take difficult shots and maybe spy on them a little bit, or do you try to shut down the other players and let those guys, as some coaches say, get theirs? I think, the people that have followed our team know that we put a high premium on trying to let our guys know, that we want to try to contain or make difficult decisions and difficult shots by guys that are star players on the other team. So, last night, Vermont's two best players had good games, although the second half was a different half for Davis, and it became a little bit more difficult for him. Shungju, we didn't maybe do quite as good a job. So we're it's such a short turnaround time. Unfortunately, I'm not going to feel as comfortable going into this game as I did even yesterday. We had some days to prepare for Vermont. That's not going to be the case. We didn't get back to our hotel room till 1 o'clock. By the time we ate, not up to right now, there hasn't been a lot of sleep with anybody on the coaching staff. We've always liked to go out to dinner. For instance, tonight we're not going out to dinner. We have to eat in the hotel just because of time constraints and wanting to be able to watch more film. So our preparation, even from this moment on, is going to be much different. The way we practice today will be a lot less taxing than any practice that I've had since I've been at Arkansas.
Yeah, Coach, since Audice missed that Tennessee game, he's played 38, 39 in 40 minutes. And
is that all?
I'd probably like to play him a little bit more.
Played
I'm sure.
him a few more.
Just what have you thought of the way that he's bounced back from that foot injury? And I guess he's given you a lift offensively. Obviously, you count on him a lot defensively too, and maybe he's been even a little bit better lately than maybe pre-injury sometimes.
Yeah, I think his three, he's knocked down some big threes for us, which is always important, Scotty. Last night, late in the game, obviously, there was a concern when he tried to come out of the game, and the other 4 guys on the floor brushed me off and said, leave him in. It's a little bit maybe tender, but obviously he's going to play. But he's really vital to us because of his, offensive rebounding ability, his ability to basket cut, his ability now, like I said, he's hit some really big threes for us. And that stretches the game out for his 4 teammates as well. But defensively is people don't understand, like half the game's on offense, half of it's on defense. And so half the game, he's our most valuable player. Like literally, he has been our most valuable player at the defensive end.
Stephen Wagner, Las Cruces Sun News. Coach, whenever you're going up against an opponent who the last game had one player take almost literally half of their shots, he had 24 of their 50 shot attempts, do you feel like that's something that makes New Mexico State maybe a little bit one-dimensional, especially whenever you see the imbalance in the scoring just on the stat sheet?
No, I was really impressed with it. I thought it was really cool, to be honest with you, that New Mexico State found a hot hand, and the other 4 guys on the team were so selfless that they kept feeding him. Sometimes teams will come down the floor and do that for 2 or 3 possessions, and then somebody will take a shot just because they think it's his turn. I thought what Coach Jans did and the guys on the floor was really cool. It was reminiscent of teammates understanding that a guy was cooking and to let him roll. So I don't look at it like it was one-dimensional. I look at it like it was freaking genius, to be quite honest. If we have somebody roll like that, we're going to stand around and watch him too go off.
Hey, Eric, I hope your shoulder's feeling better today. I wanted to ask a couple things about Devo. One, he played 20 minutes against Tennessee. I know he didn't play very well. And then he only played 5 against LSU in the tournament. I think that's the fewest minutes he's played in back-to-back games. Some guys who was playing as much as he did, they might, sulk or pout or whatever. He didn't seem like he did that. He's played really well the last couple games. How do you think he handled that?
Yeah, I think that, every game takes on a new identity. Every game takes on new matchups. I came into the game last night when I looked around the locker room, like, who do we're getting ready to go out and play in a building and on a national stage. Like, who do I know that's done this with me? And it's, Jay Will and JD and Devo. And so going into the game, whether it's fair or not, probably not fair, those were the guys that I was going to be comfortable with during the course of the game. And obviously the minutes that Devo played were starter minutes. Probably more minutes than a lot of guys that start across the country in this tournament so far. So I had belief, Bob, that he would be a competitor, try to help the team win. Because the one thing our locker room understands is when you lose, you're done, and nobody gets notoriety. It's over. And our guys want to continue. Everybody likes the limelight, or everybody likes the spotlight, or everybody likes to play another game. And the only way to do that from this moment on is to play as a team and to play with great competitiveness. And he's exemplifies that.
I guess Mike put all these stats together. Devo's averaging 14.2 points in 5 NCAA tournament games. I think he's averaging 7 or 8 in the rest of the games he plays. Not bad, but obviously not double.
Maybe we can put the NCAA logo on our floor at Bud Walton and dress up our road locker room with the same signage as we have here.
But what do you think that is? They'd make you put your Pepsi in a cup, though. What do you think about? What do you think?
How do you know it was Pepsi?
Well, it might have been Coke. Whatever you're drinking. But what do you think it is about him that he did last year? Now he's doing it again. What is it about him that he goes off like that in these games?
I mean, some guys just have that it factor. Some guys just, some guys when they walk in a room are cool, and some guys on a basketball floor, when the lights are bright, play. And up to this point, meaning last year, it wasn't just last year in the tournament. I thought he stepped up like, at Kentucky when he walking out of a huddle and saying, I'm going to get a steal, and, gets a steal and a dunk. I mean, he because he's really confident. That's why he's able to do that. He has no self-doubt in his ability to play well.
Go ahead, Mike.
Mike Harrington, Buffalo News. Eric, before my real question, did you see your wife's Instagram story today?
I don't really know how to use Instagram. I shouldn't say that, but whenever I go to Instagram, I need one of my two sons around me. What did my wife do now?
Your head was superimposed on a tailgater jumping on a table outside a Bills game.
Okay, we sure it wasn't really me?
So the real question is, the Sabres I cover, they have forged a relationship with the Bills coaches and with Brandon, and coaches in general like to pick each other's brains. What did you want to get by going over there today, and what was your impression of just meeting with them and talking to them?
So it was kind of set up a few days ago that I was, going to go over there and see the stadium and see the practice site. My wife is actually friends with Lorenzo Alexander's wife, Manjanit. And so she was trying to help me meet Sean, and then someone on staff, Hayes Myers, is actually related to Kyle Williams. So Hayes was working his angle with Kyle Williams, and Danielle was trying to work her stuff through Lorenzo. And so we were able to go in and see the stadium, see the practice site, and then Coach was nice enough to come, as was Brandon, and we talked philosophy for quite some time. I thought maybe we talked for 3 or 4 minutes, but we really got into some leadership stuff, which was really, really cool. Completely blown away with how nice and the time that both those guys gave, not only myself, but my son, and we had a few other staff members. So we exchanged phone numbers. We've exchanged text messages since I left. And I look forward, and I truly believe that sometime down the road we will end up either doing a Zoom together with maybe some other coaches, or maybe just the two of us talking philosophy, because we talked about dealing with media after a win or after a loss. We talked about a whole bunch of things, which I know I learned. He didn't probably learn anything from me, but I learned some stuff from him for sure.
You over here?
Hey, Eric, feel free to tell me if I'm maybe off base here, but do you get maybe some Mason Jones vibes watching Teddy Allen, just in terms of, like, maybe not the most vertically gifted athletes, but crafty and just wired to score?
Yeah, I think that's a great comparison, Scotty. It really is. I don't know where you want me to go with it, but I'll give you an A+ on that observation. Yeah, I was just giving him the ball every time and trying to tell everybody to get out of his way. So, I guess, both guys will break plays, and create for themselves. And we showed a whole highlight clip today of his passes too. Like he knows how to thread the needle on a bounce pass. In pick and roll coverage, if you jump out there too early or too quickly, So yeah, I think there are a lot of his transition ability to score. Like, where are you going to pick him up? You're going to pick him up at half court. You're going to pick him up at the 3-point line. You're going to pick him up 2 feet outside the three. Those are all decisions that you've got to make, much as the decisions that opponents had to make with Mason.
Over here first, and then we'll go back to you.
Colin Deaver with KTSM TV in El Paso. We cover New Mexico State because it's about 30 minutes up the road. We also cover UTEP, and a guy who was on your staff last year, Earl Boykins, is obviously at UTEP now. They played New Mexico State twice. Did you hit up Earl at all in the last 24 hours for some film or advice on how to guard?
Earl
New
was on
Mexico State?
speakerphone last night.
Was he really?
Oh, yeah, sure. I mean, he might not want me to say that, but yeah, he was on speakerphone.
Now the whole world knows.
Huh?
Now the whole world knows.
Yeah, I hope his jumper's still good like it was. Hope he's not losing his touch.
I was just kidding about the NCAA Cup, and you guys are cool with that. And I think you were drinking Diet Coke. I think that's the official Coke, or the soda or whatever. But you guys only had 5 turnovers last night. I didn't know. Mike told me that's an NCAA tournament record for Arkansas. It's played, like 7.
Mike was actually doing his job.
Yeah, I was sitting next to him. He was telling me stuff. But that's an NCAA record. Obviously, Arkansas's had a lot of good teams, and before the shot clock and three-pointer and all that. But what do you think about only having 5 turnovers? And Stanley plays 40 minutes, and he basically fills up every category except turnovers. He had 0.
It's hard to turn it over when you shoot it. Yeah. When you got it.
I guess what would you think about his game, ball handling wise, and what did you think about how your team handled the ball?
Stan was awesome. I mean, he keeps getting better and better and better and better with each game. And the one area that we wanted him to improve on was taking care of the ball, was ball handling. That's been a big part of his player development since he's arrived on campus. And he's doing ball handling drills throughout the course of the summer. He's basically gone from a power forward / small ball 5 to playing the 2-3 for us. He's improved so much defensively and improved on valuing the basketball as well. He's become a complete player. When he came to Arkansas, he was a dominant offensive player, and I think that's how maybe internally he valued his importance to the team, was scoring. Now he understands blocking shots, not turning the ball over, extra rotations, stunting if the ball is dribbled. All those things have become part of his game. And although my dad is not living anymore, we don't play the style that he would like, but he probably would have really liked us not turning the ball over, because that was like a staple of his, and because he was a football coach. And obviously in football, turnovers kill you. But to have only 5 turnovers in a game, especially against a team that Vermont's so well coached. I mean, I can't compliment, the execution that they have on both sides of the ball. So 5 turnovers, incredible.
Chris James was just in here telling kind of a funny story that his first interaction with you was, I think, many years ago at a Final Four, and you guys were basically working out next to each other on a treadmill, and he basically said, you were lapping him tenfold. Do you remember that at all?
I mean, I lap a lot of people. No, I'm just kidding. I do remember it. I mean, I can, the cool thing about, Final Fours and coaching conventions, or if it's the Nike retreat, is you develop some relationships and some funny stories and outside of the competition. But Coach, I have incredible respect for him. Like, his teams are always tough. They're always hard-nosed. They take on his personality. I think he's one of the best coaches in the country. I like what he does with his team offensively. They're always tough on the backboards. But yeah, I do remember. He was sweating pretty good too. I don't know if he told you that.
All right, any other questions for Coach? Oh, here we go.
Hey, Eric, I had a follow-up on Devo, too. How much did that run that he helped you guys go on? I mean, he played so well last year in Indianapolis. How much do you think that helped him have a real good game last night?
Yeah, I think for sure, Bob, that he's probably sitting in that locker room pre-game, and he's probably looking around, and he's saying, hey, Jay Will and JD, like, we got to play, because those are the guys that had proven it at this level, at this stage. And he stepped up to the occasion. I mean, with JD out, like, we needed somebody to score, and we needed somebody to run our offense and do it with precision and not turn the ball over. So when you bring up the 5 turnovers, and then you add in the fact that JD Notae was out for a lot of the first half, who's our primary ball handler, tells you the job Devo did really on both sides of the ball.
Okay.
Eric, if my research is right, I think JD's scored 10 or more points in the second half 8 times this year after he's picked up 2 fouls in the first half. How does he do that? Is it just you guys being more deliberate with shot selection and, he's kind of running things, or does he just really regroup at half?
I mean, I think he gets to regroup, but I mean, he's I mean, if we went and played right now, he'd figure out a way to score 15. I mean, he could be dead tired. Like, he's just wired different, I mean, some guys like to shoot at 8 in the morning. Some like to shoot at 8 at night. I think he's perfectly comfortable coming in the gym at 2 in the morning and thinks it's abnormal. And why you asking me why I shot at 2 in the morning? Like, I'm just trying to get better. And he's just that guy. Like, so to answer your question, Scotty, I don't think 2 fouls affects him. I mean, I think he's sitting there going, Coach, why am I not playing? Like, I only have 2, I'm allowed 5. And he doesn't understand that we still got 35 minutes to play or whatever.
Anything else for Coach Musselman? All right, thank you for your time. Good luck tomorrow.